4 years ago, Keller Williams decided to transform themselves from a real estate company to a digital technology company that happens to specialize in real estate. To share insights on the investments that the company has made to make data available throughout their organization, how partners have introduced new digital technologies, and what the future of digital commerce looks like for the world's largest real estate franchise. Please welcome to the stage Chief Product Officer from Keller Williams, Dholakia.
Thank you. And thanks for the AppDirect folks for inviting me out to speak. I love telling our story. But before I get started, I know there's a lot of people from Europe here, and I'm wondering, how many of you have heard of or seen a Keller Williams sign? Has anybody seen a KW? Wow, it's a minority. Okay. Well, let me introduce Keller Williams to you a little bit. 35-year-old real estate franchise company born in Austin, Texas. Right now, we are about 900 offices worldwide. These are franchise offices encompassing about 180,000 agents. 160,000 of those agents are U.S., Canada, but we are in about 25 other countries right now and expanding beyond that. And so we're a realty franchise company. That's where the company was born. And what that means is our business model is selling franchises to offices and helping those offices recruit agents in order to buy and sell real estate on behalf of consumers, or serving as fiduciaries for consumers to buy and sell real estate. And that's been the business model that has grown Keller Williams to be the largest brand in the world when it comes to real estate from a franchise perspective. And so we have more agents, we have more offices than anyone else. Now, our industry, this business model of making money in the real estate space is under attack. There's billions of dollars going into our space in order to disrupt the space. We are competing with our traditional folks, Century 21s, RE/MAX, that operate on the same model we are. Sell franchise offices, recruit agents, and our unit metric of value is every agent underneath the brand pays a royalty, pays a commission back to the head brand, and therefore we make money that way. And so that's our traditional space. We've, over the past 35 years, become number one, competing with folks in the same business model. Lately, there have been new entrants in our market, people that are changing the business model slightly, and they're competing with us to recruit agents by enticing consumers with better technology. They're saying, hey, we've got a better consumer experience, therefore work with our agents. And they're changing the monetary business model behind the scenes slightly too to match that. And so we've got a new pressure of folks that we're competing with in our space. And then finally, there are brands that you may have heard of that decided to go consumer first, Zillow, Open Door, and provide services to consumers and then work their way backwards, redefining the real estate model completely. And so these are all the pressures that we're competing against. Our traditional competitors, new entrants in the space, and now new model entrants trying to disrupt the entire space. And so given that, we had some choices to make 4 years ago, which is, well, what do? Do we keep fighting in one of these quadrants? Do we fight all the quadrants at the same time? How do we do that? And what we decided was we're going to redefine what Keller Williams is. It's no longer a real estate franchise company. It's actually a real estate tech company, or actually a technology company that specializes in real estate. And we have some advantages. So I mentioned that we're the number one in agent count, 180,000 agents around the world. They move more units, meaning selling more homes or representing more homes in the buy or sell side of the equation than anybody else. And there's more sales volume happening through a Keller Williams brand than anyone else right now in real estate. So with that, we have scale. And so as we transform into a technology company, the first thing we wanted to do was take advantage of that scale. And we're going to do that by taking all the data that agents produce, the data that their consumers produce, the day-to-day data exhaust that just falls on the ground, that we're going to pick up and turn into a digital moat. It becomes our fodder for artificial intelligence to create better insights, to better arm our agents, to better inform consumers so that you're making better real estate decisions. That was our operating thesis one, which was if we have more data than anybody else, and we have a history of 35 years of data as well, if we compiled all that, then we're able to create a digital advantage greater than anybody else that may either transform themselves into a tech company or some of these new entrants into the space that don't have the same scale, therefore they can't create the same type of advantage that we can create. So that was step one, and that works from the scale side all the way over to creating a digital moat there via AI. Now, if we work backwards from if we've got our digital moat established and we've got the ability to bring these agents and all the consumers they're working with to the same platform, then we're able to create distribution and a monetary business model that is different than our traditional business model back the other direction. And that ties into what we want to do for the next 35 years is transform our company, and I guess keeping in theme, create endurance for our company for the next 35 years. Now, a little bit of where we started in our digital transformation. Keller Williams, prior to 4 years ago, was, as I mentioned, a realty franchise company, so their back office was really just an IT shop that cobbled together or bolted together independent offers from best-of-breed vendors. And so we pulled them together, integrated them either through services or through our own efforts, and pulled them together and created agent applications and created a bundle that we provided to agents. We did the same thing by bolting together some best-of-breed applications for consumers. Now, this created an environment where we had no control over our destiny. We had disjoint solutions, data was locked in various silos, and in some cases, that data was leaked out into someone else's application to create a competitor. And so that's another thing that was happening within our space as we were using other people's technologies, either through consolidation or through happenstance. Those technologies were eventually being used against us. And it's like Uber, they're using drivers to help create driverless cars. So basically, if you're an Uber driver, you're participating in the platform that's one day going to replace you. We were in a similar type of environment where we employed a platform that was creating competitors that were looking to replace our company, replace our agents. And so through our evolution and disrupting ourselves before anybody else would disrupt us, we wanted to think about, all right, let's pull all our data back. Let's create a connected data system. And on top of that, let's create artificial intelligence. And so we spent a lot of time over the last several years collecting our data and then running machine models against that data. And we have our own version of an assistant called Kelly. And so we like to think of it as Siri went to real estate school, got her license, and now can interact with agents and consumers. And then on top of that, we built out a services layer. Now, we had the advantage, and one of the cool things about this is because our legacy was an IT legacy of third-party bolt-together software, we were able to start brand new without a legacy of legacy software that we had to bring over. We started building from scratch inside of our own environment, and so we were able to move very fast and very quickly. And we moved our partners outside of our walls, and that meaning that we moved everybody that we still had service contracts with outside of our stack of technologies. And we started delivering new applications for consumers and for our agents. And this was kind of our phase one differentiation from the old guard of our competition. We wanted to be able to go to market and say, join Keller Williams as a franchisee, join Keller Williams as an agent, and we're going to deliver a next generation technology stack. That became the industry's first real estate cloud, a vertical real estate cloud. We parked this inside of Google Cloud, and now we have a vertical stack of a real estate platform on which we've built multiple different applications. So our agents have and a lot of people are going to be thinking this was crazy, but we built a CRM from the ground up that included sales automation, marketing automation, business automation, a franchise back office for financials, agent-to-agent collaboration, and also HR and recruiting in order to enable our franchise offices to better recruit additional agents to the brand. Because remember, that's our unit metric of value right now is every incremental agent drives our revenue. We also created a consumer experience that enabled consumers on the same platform connected to agents to be able to search, buy, sell, own, and property manage their own homes, all from one platform. And that's one of the holy grails of our industry right now, where the disruption is happening, is can you, as a provider in this space, own the entire value chain from what consumers want to do when they're searching for a home, refining that search, purchasing a home, getting a mortgage, getting inspection, getting title, and then one day managing that home because they're in the ownership phase, and then selling it and starting the whole cycle over again. The first company that can own that entire value chain is going to pretty much win in this space, because they'll stay top of mind in what we call a first screen app on every consumer's phone. Now, as we created this cloud, and we needed some place for our partners to plug in, that's when we started exporting and exposing APIs, the data we had, and even created an incubation program for the other companies to be able to work with us, partner with us, and create innovation on top of our cloud that we could then provide back out to agents and consumers. And so as Nicholas was talking over the 5 principles of endurance earlier, I was, usually when vendors do that, they frame a problem in such a way that they're the only solution. However, I was following along and I was like, wait a second, let's check off all these boxes. They work for us as well. And one of them was, well, let's create a platform that enables horizontal scale in innovation, meaning that we're going to keep innovating. We've got a large team that's building our own applications, but we're not going to build everything. We're not going to build a title application. We're not going to build a home inspection application. And by providing this ability on the platform for other people to plug in, then we get that entire value chain, which is the target underneath our brand. Therefore, we own the presentation of that value chain to consumers. And if you think about the scale, as I mentioned, once we created our cloud, it created advantage in our cloud. Within the US and Canada, we have 160,000 agents, each touching 30 million consumers at any given time. We're able to create daily habits for both consumers on consumer applications, because we have that end-to-end value chain, as well as a distribution opportunity for anybody that touches our cloud, because our agents also have daily habits using the applications that they have. They're all interconnected. And when you do that, when we did that through an app store. And in that app store, we were actually able to create a soft landing and negotiation leverage for all the legacy contracts that we started with. And part of our transformation, moving from an IT shop with contracts with third-party vendors to a software house and a technology company, was, well, what do you do with all this contractual overhang? And the leverage we had with the App Store, and what we told our partners was, look at the distribution opportunity for you, basically the channel. Look at the channel we could provide for you. Therefore, you should be incented to renegotiate your contract with us, because now we're going to put you into our App Store and give you that distribution capability. And so that actually worked really effectively to create leverage to either renegotiate existing contracts, or when we wanted to continue on with a given offer to our agents or to our consumers from a third party, it gave us a new framework to frame how we were going to bring those offers to market underneath us. So that worked out very well for us. The other thing it did was it created an opportunity for us to create a partner program. This partner program is another monetization opportunity whereby we have as I mentioned, small startups needing incubation to very large companies wanting to partner with us to get at our distribution. And so we created a partner program that allowed us to not only create the demand gen, the queue for getting into our cloud, getting at our APIs, getting at our data, and ultimately being able to get exposure to agents and our consumers. But there's a fee for joining that partner program, and it became another monetization opportunity for us. And as we switch our business model from having just making money on agents as our unit metric of value to monetizing the distribution that we have now. The other thing that we were able to do in another business model change that we are allowed through this app store is what we call central services. There are many services that our franchise offices, that real estate agents contract for directly. So they may need marketing services, someone to create a flyer, someone to create a social post for them. They may need contract review services. Now these are all either contractors that the local offices hire or full-time employees and teams that these local offices hire. What we're able to do now is centralize a lot of those services, the common ones that all of our franchise offices, all of our agents use, and bring them inside our cloud, basically into our building, and present them as opportunities within the App Store for agents to discover these services, contract for those services, and then we handle the fulfillment on the back end ourselves. And we don't necessarily do all the fulfillment. We created another opportunity whereby we have certain partners that plug in as services partners underneath our banner to give us horizontal scale when we get a big load for example, building flyers or something like that. We have other marketing companies that plug it underneath us. So that gave us another change in our business model and our disruption of ourselves and becoming a different type of company. Now, one of the really cool use cases that I think is not readily apparent when you look at this, but for us, because we have so many people connected to our platform, we created a model whereby we have a model where any endpoint, any consumer, any agent especially connected to our platform has the ability to become a federated service provider. And so for us, we may have an agent or somebody working at one of our offices that's great with drones and has their own side business doing drone photographs, drone pictures of homes for sale, neighborhoods, and things like that. For them to get distribution, the capability to say, hey, I am a small business owner, or I have a side gig, and I can take these professional drone pictures for you, is very hard for them to get distribution. By enabling them to join our partner program, get into our app store, they become discoverable in a certain region, a certain office zone, or office operating area, and an agent that needs that service can contract within our app store and say, hey, for $10, will you drive out, take a drone photograph or a drone video of this home and post it back into our platform. And we've created an opportunity of federated services that are agent to agent or even agent to consumer. I need someone to come in and professionally photograph my home. Consumers can also discover new services from within consumer interfaces of our app store. But these federated services create almost a generic Uber-like platform for us to create more opportunities for our agents, create more opportunities and offerings for our consumers, which then further strengthens our brand for both consumers and agents. This creates a new style of commerce for us as well, which obviously we'll take part in because we're facilitating the match between a service provider and a service consumer. And so with those models, that's what we've been working on to disrupt ourselves, to make sure that, and a lot of people use us as an old guard company, as the Blockbuster in their Netflix story. So Redfin is going to Netflix KW's Blockbuster, or Compass is going to Netflix KW's Blockbuster, or Zillow's the Netflix to our Blockbuster. We don't believe that. We believe we're our own Netflix to our own Blockbuster, and we're making our own transformation in order to facilitate that. And I'm going to act like a millennial here, and I'm going to pull out my phone, and I'm going to read some notes off of it that I took earlier. This usually drives me crazy, but I didn't have paper at the time. So when Nicholas talked about 5 principles of digital endurance, you know, the first one was maintain harmony, and that translated into, you know, build a platform and lower the hurdle rate for innovation. And so that's for us what Keller Cloud is. We built a platform, we built our own applications on it, and then we exposed that platform to the outside world so that innovators in real estate can create that innovation fast, deliver it to our consumers, deliver it to our agents so that we stay in front of all innovation in real estate. So check, we did that. Decentralization, you know, that, for me, it translated into how are you actually creating these new offers for your market? So for us, it's the third-party integration for things that we won't build. I mentioned that the holy grail for everyone in this space is to create that value chain of everything related together inside of a real estate transaction. Well, we're not going to be a title company. We're not building title experiences. We're not going to be an inspection company. We're not doing home inspection ourselves. Yet, we were able to partner with large title companies, and we were able to partner with a large home inspection network. They've integrated into our system, and now our agents have a one-button click inside of their CRM. When they hit a certain stage in their sales pipeline with their consumers, they can click a button and dispatch a home inspector for a consumer. The consumers in their consumer app, when it's time to do title, they can click a button and start the title process and get all their paperwork and see it all from one application without having to bounce between multiple different companies' experiences. So check on decentralization. Grow effortlessly. And so for us, the App Store became a single point of commerce, or a single point of presence that reduces friction for any kind of commerce. So for our agents, we are now putting all the fees, anything that they want to buy, through one entry point. And so an agent now has a reduction in friction. So as we add more innovations, we add more partners, as we scale horizontally, an agent has an easy way to discover new innovations. And so they're tailoring what their real estate experience is to them by constructing it themselves. We have our core offer, and then all the extension offers that are relevant are available to an agent, and they know exactly how to select them, find them, and then add them into their core technology stack. So check mark on grow effortlessly. And then, as I mentioned, our Keller Cloud Partner Program allows us to bring on new partners in a fast programmatic manner. So create a value hub. And for us, that was agent and consumer, single point for an end-to-end real estate transaction. So that, for us, is the value. If you have one place to go to conduct a sell journey for your home, a buy journey for your home, or a home ownership journey as a consumer, and on the other side, your agent understands what's happening, can be there for you when you have a question, that's success for us. And so we've created value in real estate by connecting consumers and agents in a valuable way, not just a sales way. So check mark on that. And the last one was control supply chain. So that, for us, allowed us to create that last use case. Without being too redundant, we're able to bring in all the value chain that we needed for a real estate transaction. The next part of that was, how do you make the lives easier for agents using your platform? How do you make lives easier for consumers using your platform? And that's where the Federated Services and Central Services came in. They're not hard goods, but they are the missing glue pieces of owning a real estate business or doing real estate transactions. And being able to bring all that together, you substitute the word value chain and value for supply in supply chain, and you end up a true glued together value chain that you control, that you own, and that creates a differentiated value for yourselves. It helps you change your business model and disrupt what you were before into something completely new. Now, we've been talking about this for quite a while, And now where we've ended up today is, we announced our app store at our conference just in February, and we've got over 400 applicants in our Keller Cloud Partner Program wanting to get in and leverage our APIs, create innovations. And so our big challenge now is how do we prioritize of those 400 who are the most critical to bring in, who are going to bring the most value to our agents, to our consumers, and who are going to help us along the way to create our own disruption, basically become our own Netflix to our old Blockbuster. Appreciate it. Thank you.